Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Got a special guest joining us right now. We've got Tim E.D. joining us. Now, the reason I said his name that way is because that's how his show is titled. It's called Tub Time with Tim E.D. Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You did a fantastic intro as well, so I'm very pleased and impressed.
Well,
a lot of eyes.
And it's fun because now a lot of the time people would say like Tim E.D., but now there's got to be a reason. Why is it Tim E.D.?
Well, one, it's my middle initial, so that works, and D is my last name because, it's so odd and uncommon to find someone with a last name that's a letter. But I do actually pronounce it Tim E.D. sometimes, but then the problem you get is people start spelling it Timmy.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just screws everything up.
I'm John E. Small, so my middle name is Edward. So, and if I went by John E., people might think it's Johnny. So I can understand completely.
Oh, that's genius. See, exactly. You can relate. I love it. See, I guess maybe it's everybody that's in the entertainment field and in broadcasting. Somehow or another, the E makes its way in.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Tub Time with Tim E.D. How long have you been doing this, Tim?
We've been doing this for about a year. As far as my background, I've been broadcasting and television. I've been doing live TV hosting for about 15 years, but I really wanted to kind of marry the two together in regards to my broadcasting background, but also my love for Disney World, which started increasing pretty much around 2012 after I got married, and then I wound up taking a trip every year. But so Tub Time's kind of a inkling into that world, and I thought, well, everyone always has, when they do a TV show, as far as a talk show, they always involve a desk. So I thought, well, sometimes I do my best thinking when I'm not thinking, and that would involve the tub. Luckily, when I do the show, I do have clothes on there. That's an important fact.
So that is a good thing to know. I like the one that I watched. I didn't get to see all of the episodes, but one of them that I was watching, you're wearing a sparkly shirt. I saw the curtain come open. I'm like, oh boy, what am I going to see here? And it was a sparkly shirt. How long have you been a Disney World fan?
Well, my first trip, I think, was around 8 or 9 years old, and when my mom would take me, I would always average every 4 years because I'm not really that close to the Florida area. So I would do about every 4 years, and then as I got to be an adult, I realized, wait a second, if I make my own money and I can make my own decisions, I can go whenever I want to go. I said, this is a great idea. So that's what I started deciding that, and then my wife, fiance at the time, really was a Disney fan too. We started going, and we thought, well, there's no reason why we can't go at least at minimum once a year, and that's pretty much what we've been doing for the past 4 years.
And I'm happy for you that you are a fan and your wife is a fan because that makes it a whole lot easier. Imagine how awful it would be if you were a fan and she was not a fan and you had to drag her along. That wouldn't be good at all, would it?
No, that's not really quite so much fun. I mean, I know sometimes people have an interest that the other doesn't, and they can eventually kind of acclimate their way to it, but it makes it a lot more easier when you've already stacked the deck with two people that are fans.
Big time. Big time. Makes it so much more easy. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, I'm looking here and it says, I thought this was really interesting. You talk about all the fun that takes place, and it says, and from time to time we give away gift cards and mustard. I was like,
yes, that's true.
I have to ask, gift cards and mustard, how did you choose that?
Well, we are a big fan of mustard, and we thought, well, whenever you go to the parks, so it's probably the one thing you actually can get for free is mustard. But we thought, well, instead of just giving you little packets, we bring a whole economy size jug that you might get at like your Walmart oversized bulk type purchasing places. And so we thought we'd give that away because life is a lot more happier when sometimes mustard's involved.
There you go. And you know what? I like the way you think. It's something different. It's something fun. And how many other places are giving away mustard? I mean, you don't see that on every other program.
I know everybody else can give away a gift card, which is important, and we do that too. But, I have yet to see anyone else besides us give away mustard. So I think that sets us apart in the mustard realm.
So now one of the things you do is the fun trivia. What has been the most difficult trivia question? Have you had any that like people were stumped on and couldn't find an answer?
Yes, I would think so. And sometimes I stump my own self, and I'm the one that came up with the question and the answer. So sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge. But I think one of them was, what's one thing that talk at Epcot that you would go to find water at? And so a lot of people were kind of stumped at that. But it turns out at one point, I don't think they still have this now, but they actually had water fountains that when you push the button to get your water, they would actually make little noises and sound effects.
Oh,
and unfortunately, I discovered this later, and then I've gone back to try to look. Some people said it's still there, some people said it isn't. So I guess that's the challenge. But it was still a fun trivia question nonetheless.
You know, I did a trivia question on a radio program every morning for years, and the one that was the most difficult question happened to be a Disney question. So I'm going to ask you to see if you know the answer. I'm putting you on the spot here a little, ain't I?
Okay, yeah, that's great.
So this took 2 weeks. This is before the internet was a thing and people could just Google it. Now it's a lot easier for people to do trivia questions. But my question back then, back in the 1990s, the question was, what is Donald Duck's middle name? And it took 2 weeks to get an answer.
Wow. And you know what's interesting? I actually used to know that, but it's one of those things that didn't stick.
Well,
I don't think it was Does it start with an F, like Fauntleroy or something?
Yeah,
or is that
Fauntleroy. Yep, you were absolutely right. Donald Fauntleroy Duck. Yes. And
wow.
So
I guess I should have held on my confidence.
You did good. You did real good. And the fun thing is, the person that won this again is before Google, because Google kind of ruined trivia questions because now you can Google them. But I finally got a winner after 2 weeks. And we did this every morning, and people were guessing. And I finally got a winner, and I asked them, how did you know the answer? And they said, after 2 weeks of this, I finally decided to call Disney World and ask them. So,
I love that story. That's great. I know, didn't it make it a lot more fun? I mean, obviously we love technology, and there's a lot of great advancements, but that's definitely one thing that I thought, too, for radio trivia contests. It was a lot more fun when you really just had to think through it or do a little more work into discovering the answer, and I think that's a great idea. And actually, sometimes I'll call Disney World myself. I won't even have the trip planned. I just love when they put me on hold because they play all this awesome music, and I thought, when they finally get on the phone, I'm like, yeah, what time is the park open today? I have an excuse to call.
Can you please put me back on hold for a while?
Yes, I know. I always tell people, if you're having Disney World withdrawals, and after going on our website, if you've done enough with that, then one of the cheap opportunities, call the phone number, and you'll get a little bit of a Disney World fix in.
Again, our guest today is Tim E.D., and he's with a program called Tub Time with Tim E.D., and you can actually find them online on Facebook, facebook.com/WDW Magic Florida, and that stands for Walt Disney World Magic Florida. So I encourage you to find them on Facebook. Now, when they go onto your Facebook page, can they watch some of the videos right there, or do they find those on YouTube?
Yeah, we are on YouTube, but I always just try to encourage everybody, like a home base, to go on the Facebook page. And I always try to make sure to tell everybody we're just a fan site. You know, we're definitely not affiliated in any way with Walt Disney World. We definitely love them. And we just want to express our appreciation, to that, and that's what we want all the like-minded people to come along. So they certainly can see the videos there. Just go through our timeline, and you'll see some of our contest pictures that we've done, some people, some of the fans of our website that have posted things. So it's a good opportunity for everyone to kind of be involved in the community.
Since you started doing this video program on YouTube about Disney, have you had a chance to meet some other like-minded Disney fans out there, and what are some fun stories that you could share? Yeah,
definitely. Well, we have this one opportunity that we had with Periscope that's out there, and so we were able to broadcast live with Periscope and basically did a thing where if you were able to find me while I was at Disney World, then we would give you a Disney gift card, and we had a few people that approached. Obviously, we were able to do the first one because otherwise we'd be broke giving everybody gift cards. But then we actually entered everybody else that came up to us and met us and talked to us and entered into a contest for them so that we could draw one entry. So that was a lot of fun, just getting an opportunity to meet people through the Periscope, and also other people that are kind of hunting around looking for me when they follow our page and know that we're going to be out there.
That's really cool. So now those gift cards, did you get those from Disney, or you bought those to give away, or how did that work?
Yeah, we buy them. We buy them just like anyone else would buy a gift card, and spend our own money and just give back to people that we know how exciting it is when we get gift cards for things like from family members and things. So I thought, what an opportunity to kind of share a little bit of that magic, if you will, to somebody else.
Well, we should be starting a page to encourage Disney to give you some cool stuff to give away. That would be really cool.
That would be very nice. I definitely would love that. I wouldn't refuse.
So
I think one of my favorite stories was a TV show that I posted a long time ago, and we were actually doing a giveaway from, I think it was Frank's Red Hot or something. So they sent me a whole box of Red Hot Frank sauce, and the time it got there, all of the hot sauce, the bottles had broken, and so my whole carport smelled like hot sauce. There was hot sauce everywhere, bottles broken. So there was a few that we were actually able to save and give away as prizes. But either way, I always think of that when I see Frank's Red Hot.
Well, here's the thing. If somebody is listening to this program and they have a connection at Disney, I encourage you to reach out to Tim through his Facebook page and see if you can line up some cool prizes for them to give away. Because, again, he's not affiliated with Disney, but he's a big fan, and he does this program, and that's why I thought it'd be fun to chat with him here. I think it's really cool that you do this.
Yeah, and I wanted to say one other thing, too. If anyone also wants to send out Frank's Red Hot sauce, make sure it's in plastic containers.
Very good. That's a good tip for people that are thinking of sending that out.
Yes.
Now,
or at least bring a broom.
Yeah, when people win mustard from you, it's probably not in a glass bottle, is it?
No, actually not. You're absolutely right about that. What I think is amazing, I don't know how you actually make mustard, but I know it's 0 calories, so I think that's another win-win for me.
That is awesome. Again, the Facebook page, for those of you that want to find this young man online, it's a fun page. There's some really cool stuff on there. And then you got to watch the videos because the videos are fun as well. And even though it's called Tub Time with Tim E.D., he's in the tub, but he's fully clothed, so you can watch this. You could probably even watch it at work and get away with it, couldn't you?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we just have a lot of fun. We keep it G-rated, and we target really more towards adults, but we also know that anyone could watch it any time since you're dealing with the Disney World type subject matter. So we try to keep it just fun and lighthearted.
Well, thank you for doing what you do. It's always fun to find somebody that's passionate about something and they get to do something with it. So I think it's really cool that you're taking your passion and your profession, you're kind of mixing those together to do something that just satisfies you. That's really cool.
Well, thank you so much. And it was an awesome pleasure to be on your show.
Well, we're glad to have you on the program. Again, Tim has been our guest today from Tub Time with Tim E.D. And if you'd like to find him online, it's pretty darn easy. Go to Facebook and go to facebook.com/WDW Magic Florida. And that stands for Walt Disney World Magic Florida. And we'll throw a link on our Facebook page to make it really easy to find him as well. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.